about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a makeup look using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau Palette. First, with skin prep, I go in with my Caudalie Beauty Elixir. This just is so refreshing and wonderful, and it kind of feels a little tingly on your skin. For primer today, I'm using the Milk Makeup Hydrogrip Primer. I love this under foundation because it really makes it stick. And foundation is my Kosas foundation. I don't know if it has a different name, but this one is the shade 210 Olive. I believe it's 210. And so when I first put this on, I do notice that it is quite an olive tone compared to my skin, but my skin tends to pick up a little bit of the warmth from my lights, and so turns to tend a little bit red. And as you can see, my forehead is a little bit more tan, so I'm just evening out my complexion so that my forehead is the same shade as the rest of my face. I am going in with a brush here. This is a Sigma brush, and I don't usually do this, but I am going in with a sponge as well, just to kind of even everything out, make sure that I've blended around my jawline. That's usually really important. If you're using a lighter or darker color than your skin tone, you really have to make sure to blend around your neck. Personally, I don't like having product on my ears or my neck, so I tend not to really go that way, but I try to pick colors that are very close to my skin tone. So for concealer, again, very, very similar. It is not brightening at all. This is the shade 10. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. I'm only using it around my nose where I have a little bit of veining, underneath my eyes where I have dark circles, and a little bit on my pigmentation that I have on my face. So I blend that out with my beauty sponge. I can't remember what sponge this is, but I think it was from Rexall. It's just like a regular old sponge. Next, I'm setting everything down with my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. So as far as setting powders go, if there's like a formula that's a loose powder, generally I feel like they're not as finely milled as something that's pressed. When it's a pressed powder, it seems to come off very minimal, and that's kind of what you want for makeup. You don't need a huge coating of powder on your face. For eyebrows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wax and the Urban Decay Brow Blade in Cool Cookie. So I do kind of skip out on this step, but I decided to trim my eyebrow hairs because I was noticing as I brushed them up with the spoolie, they were like ridiculous and crazy. So I did go ahead and trim them out. And then I used the liquid side of the brush from the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and I kind of drew like realistic brow hair strokes. And then all you do, it is waterproof, or it's supposed to be waterproof, but I do brush it back out with this spoolie, and I find it actually blends just a tiny bit, and maybe I'm catching it before it dries. I don't know, but it does seem to work, and it does seem to blend it out just a tiny bit. So after my brows are complete, I go in with a contour. And I used to love contour in winter. I used to love like a full face, but now I go in with a very light hand. So I'm going to be using the Tarte Tartiest Pro Glow palette. This is an older palette, and I absolutely love it. It has one cream shade, but I usually just stick with the powder shades. So I usually start with my cheekbones. I chisel those out. I go up one side of my face, and I darken around my temples and around the perimeter of my forehead. So I add a little bit of product to my nose, a little bit under the lip and under the jawline. And normally I go in and blend it all out, but today for some reason I didn't. This palette is my Lunar Beauty Moon Prism palette. And I love this palette so much. You'll notice I did not tap off the brush, so it does not go on super opaque. So you don't really have to worry about that so much. I do add a little bit of blush to my nose and my forehead just because I like to balance out my skin and have a little bit of color everywhere. Next is highlight. So I'm just highlighting my cheekbones and nose and various other spots, not my eyes yet. I usually wait for after makeup is complete. And I'm using the Mary Lou highlighter. And for setting spray, we go in with the MAC Fix Plus Stay Over Spray. That's been my current favorite. And so here we are with the shadow. So I do, I think I edited quite a bit of this out because it was basically me in fast forward adding color to my eyes. But I am starting with a rosy shade in the crease. And this really helps to blend things out. So it might look really pink right now, but after like the end result, you don't really notice it as much. I'm using a darker gray color on the outside corners, and then even a darker gray to really give my eye dimension. And it's kind of what I do. I usually add a matte shade to the outside corners, and then I go in with a sparkly shade for the inside, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I think when I did this video, all of my brushes were dirty, so I think I went ahead and just kind of brushed them off on some paper towel beforehand, because I didn't want the color to transfer. And now I'm just blending out everything, because I think I felt like I went a little overboard with the color. So I'm going to pick some sparkle shades now, and you'll see how this changes the entire tone of the eye. So at first it looked like it was gray and pink. I go in with this olive color to color, and it looks exactly like, I don't know, like almost like a green look, like a green gray color. So I'm really liking it. And then I just put a little bit of a different color on the inside corner, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. It looks like a natural look, but with a little bit of shadow, if that makes any sense. Okay, so next is I wipe away any fallout, and we're going in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex Black Liquid Liner to line my lash line. So I only do a very, very thin layer, because I just don't want to cover up any of the shadow that's on my lid. I just like to do a thin layer. When I put lashes on, it helps to adhere with the lashes, and it's just, it really works out that way. So I will be using the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara and the Cala lashes. I think I'm using Cashmere, and I can't remember exactly what style they are, but I do skip out on that part. So I do spray my face multiple times as well, just to keep my makeup from running around on me. So I go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills lip stick in Satin. The shade is Praline, and the gloss I put on top is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Sweetmouth. The very last step is to add a little bit of highlight to my inner corners to brighten up the look, and I add a little bit under the brow just to make the brow pop. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, please subscribe, click on that bell notification button, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.